Welcome back. I should give this a second to let things populate, but welcome back. I got Benji with me today, and you know what we do on this if you watched it before, but if you haven't, I have a bunch of toys that have been in storage at my mom's attic for of her garage for 30 plus years. A lot of them are 80s vintage toys, some early 90s stuff. So I'm going through them right now, cataloging them all, and getting them ready for sale, researching and figuring out. So he's here to be an extra set of hands of things, but also some like a lot of these toys are stuff you'll have never seen in your life. Yeah, so it'll be the first time because he was born in '95. So most of this collection was done before he was born, even. So it should be interesting. But you know what I do here? I turn the camera around, I show you the items, we search for it, talk about it, all that kind of stuff. So let's jump on into it here. All right. I did have a very interesting conversation today. I stopped at a local store here in town that... Okay, is this going to stay? What's going on here? Oh, hold on, once more. There we go. Whew, 360. A local store here in town that they buy and sell all types of stuff, but antiques, collectibles, etc. And kind of talked to them about this collection. It's something that they might actually be interested in. Like I got kind of excited when I had mentioned some Masters of the Universe stuff and whatnot. So who knows? Maybe some of the stuff will get sold sooner than later. But if you haven't watched the other ones, in part one we went through some Masters of the Universe stuff. Did you watch any of the episodes, Ben?
Yeah. Masters of the Universe and G.I. Joe.
Okay, yep. So, Masters of the Universe and G.I. Joe ended up being a two-part because there was so much stuff. Mm-hmm. And then today, we're going to start going through some vintage Star Wars stuff. If you read the description, you kind of know what's going on. Let's see here if I can view this. Let's pull up the... Oh, no. There we go. It's not really where I want to be, I don't think, but... perfect. Oh, this ended right up. So anyhow, just want to poke around here and see if you can figure out where to see the live on there in case any chat and stuff comes up. Anyhow, today we're going through some Star Wars stuff. A big help in this whole process has been having some AI help to search stuff and good quality equipment to get stuff done. But this collection of Star Wars stuff is stuff that I kind of accumulated over the years. Some of it I remember getting really young at garage sales. Some of it I bought from different stores like the Star Wars store in the Mall of America. Maybe some thrift shops over time. But first thing, one of my favorite of all time was right here. The Hoth base. All right, so this sits right here. Everything snaps together so nicely. This goes on top. Your Star Wars dude could sit up in this turret. There you had, guy could go inside there. And then, of course, if you're on Hoth, you have to contend with the Imperial probe droids. And I think to kind of make it, oh yeah, that's right, you can make it move. But then there's a little mechanism in here that's going to make it click and bounce off and like explode, I think. Yep. Yeah, so it gets kind of... Oh, I got stuck on something. Yeah, and it falls off. Yeah, so let's see. Yeah, there's that little mechanism, so it kind of like will pop. Ah, there it is. Let's see if I can get it to do it here. I'll kind of pop this thing up in the air. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, come on. Yeah, there we go. So it blows up. So yeah, let's take a little look at the history of this toy, see what's missing. I don't know if some figures are missing and whatnot. All right. All right. So I'm going to first take a picture of it here. Oh, no, I don't want my location known on that thing. You son of a gun. Let's take a look here. All right, so I'm going to take a picture, and then I'm going to use my handy tools to get what I can get done here. Let's see here. Yeah, so I know this is obviously from Empire Strikes Back. But let's see what we can find out about it, if we can find an approximate value on it, and what's missing, more importantly, because that's a big thing I don't remember is some of the...
What all came with
Yeah.
the whole set and the
Yeah.
parts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it was nice. One of the watchers last time was actually my brother, who's a big G.I. Joe enthusiast, so he was calling a lot of the shots as we were live. Know exactly what it is. Okay, so let's see here. I'm pretty sure a dude goes with it. This one's in pretty good shape, actually. I mean, it's got some... It could use some cleanup on it. This plastic has kind of discolored over time. That's just what happened. Yeah, there we go. Okay. I'm doing this. Of course, they got the pegs where the guys could actually stand up on here. Let me go see. I actually do have a Star Wars guy sitting out here.
If anybody jumps on and wants to throw any comments into the chat, if they know any history of any of these toys, feel free to throw chat up and we'll get to it.
Strangely enough, the one Star Wars dude that I do have here still, I actually have one of the medic droids from Empire Strikes Back. But of course, they got the little footholes, so your Star Wars guy could stand there. Like I said, you could sit him up in there. You could really set up quite the nice little play features there. Hoth turret and Protobot blast set. Wow. Oh, so this actually might be like pretty much intact. Because according to what I can find really quick, it looks like it's complete. A lot of times this hatch or this cannon is missing. I also have pretty complete stickers on here. I don't know how many are actually supposed to be on there, but that's pretty darn cool. So yeah, here's the first piece. Yeah, you can take some pictures of it and see if you can figure out what we're going along there, Ben. Hoth turret and Probot.
Yeah, no,
Probe bot. There we go.
That's
Place
everything.
and this dude. Do a quick search on this dude. He's one of the medics. He's the medic from, or a medic droid, I should say.
He's a 2-1B medical droid action figure, typically found in 3.7-inch scale. There is supposed to be a medical staff that goes along with him.
Like a staff that he carries around, or like other people that work with him?
That's a good question. I think it might be people that work with him. No, it is actually a little black plastic staff that fits in his hand.
Oh man, this is kind of a bummer, but since we're in Hoth, oh, this sucks because I know I used to have it somewhere, but since we're in Hoth and talking about it, so did you find a price estimate on this dude just for kicks and giggles?
Yeah, is that it? No, that's not it. Well,
No, it's close, but that's for another thing.
Just on that little guy, anywhere between $15 to $20.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just found that in a set of other toys at some point. Anyhow, Hoth. Can't have Hoth without a Tauntaun, of course. Smell even worse on the inside, as we know. This one, unfortunately, I think is missing the saddle. I think there was a plastic saddle that went around it. We'll look at another item here in a little bit that has a saddle. And you'll kind of see the material that it's made of, but they were notoriously frail and just kind of broke down over time. I'm sure I used to have it. But what made this kind of cool with the ride-on, it had a little trap door. And that's where the dude could sit. You can put whoever you want in there and have them go for a Tauntaun ride. This one really appears to be in pretty solid shape. There may be supposed to be some reins on it too. Pretty solid shape. Let's see what we can figure out here. All right. Oh man, if you're watching, thanks for tuning in and checking this out. The production value I know is not super high, but
We got a couple live viewers.
oh really?
Yes.
Nice.
So if you're watching, feel free to throw a comment in the chat.
Okay. All right, let's see here. I mean, I might as well keep the old med bot here to have to reference this other toys. Let's see here. Yeah, Tauntaun 8081 features iconics. Does not have the split belly. It's missing its saddle and range and reins which are key accessories for 100%. Yeah, obviously we need that stuff. Still got a little value in it, but pretty cool. A little discoloration on it, but the paint on the face is in good shape.
Really good shape.
Yeah. Let's see here. Man. Let's see. This is going to be, that's kind of a big one. Downtown is kind of cool. You know what? Since we're going in creatures, let's continue in that vein. Yeah, I like that. All right, so here is the dewback. There we go. Look at that guy. From the original Star Wars line. Look at how that you move the head, the tail moves, or vice versa. If you're walking it from behind. This has the saddle. You can see it's made of that kind of it's a rubber, but it got really hard and brittle over time. You can even see here the rain actually busted off at one point or another, which is a bummer. I still have it, but it's a bummer because otherwise that thing would have been pretty darn complete. Features a little trap door gimmick there. Latch isn't broke or anything. 1979 copyright. Let's see what we can find here. This is one of the many things that when they did the remakes of the original Star Wars, the re-edits and whatnot, and I never liked how they monkeyed around with the dewbacks in there. They were kind of cool when it was just the old puppets. They just added some CGI stuff and weird scenes in. It wasn't necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, though, an interesting part. That is, oh man, that's almost to scale, which is kind of interesting. You know, in the movie, that's roughly about how tall it. Yeah, probably a little bit bigger. Dewback. Let's see here. Yeah, there's some value in that. So that's pretty cool. The paint on it's pretty good. No discoloration, obviously because it's not like the white plastic. So, in fact, it's all the paint's intact. I played with that a lot, actually, and that held up pretty good. All right, so here's a dewback. Let's see. Okay, well, here's a weird one. This is a really weird one. This is, the toy line was so hot and kids wanted stuff, they kind of made, there were some Star Wars toys that weren't in the movie. This never appeared in the movie. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this is not the right documentation for it. We'll come back to that. That's pretty cool, though. That's probably worth something. Never was in the movie, but yet was a toy. And I think we're going to see another example of that pretty quick. I have no idea what this thing is even called, but you could stand a couple guys in here and shoot them around.
Mm-hmm.
I'll also admit, as you're watching this, there's a good chance that it's, you might know what it is, and it's not even a Star Wars toy, but I just always mix it in there. But I believe this is.
Oh, it is.
Let's see here. I'm seeing MLC3 mobile laser cannon mini rig. Is that what you're finding, Ben?
No, it's coming up for me as the PDT-8, the Personal Deployment Transport, a mini rig vehicle released by Kenner in 1981. Never appeared in the movie or any of the movies. It was designed as a cost-friendly alternative for kids.
What is it called?
The PDT-8. I believe that is. Yep, that's what we're looking at right there.
Oh yeah, PDT-8. Let's see here.
Features 2 side-mounted cannons, as well as a gunner seat.
PDT. Yeah, let's see here. Yeah, so I guess it could fly around. It was kind of cool. It had, you could articulate these little thrusters, had a couple cannons on it. Never in the movie, just a toy. Honestly, probably, not stickers aren't in great shape, so not a ton of value. There's a good chance of some of these toys, things like this may have been a mold that they had for another toy line altogether, and they're like, I don't know, let's just try it and
the
see.
history I found was it was part of their mini rigs line, which was designed as larger toys were, more expensive. This was designed to be a checkout impulse buy that parents could purchase for their kids, right in the checkout line. But there's a handful of mini rigs that never appeared in movies or were specifically scaled to fit the 3.75 inch characters.
Here's the next few items. If you want to sneak in and take a look, you can do a little pre-search on it. Now, this may have been in the movie as a thing. It's a little like tool chest thing. I can find the exact name of it pretty quick because I actually have the manual for it. Vehicle Maintenance Energizer Toy. All right, so this is fun that I actually have this. Let's see here. Can we see? See that? All right, there we go. Here's how it looks on the back.
It was another mini rig piece that never actually appeared in a movie.
Okay, man, I wonder if this is the probe for this dude, because what should be in here should actually be some little wrenches.
Oh, interesting.
I wonder about that, the medical staff. Okay, so never in the movies, but I do remember, so this little lid can move around and open and whatnot. And it had a couple little there's a hydro spanner that it had in there. And then, of course, it had these rubber hoses hooked into here. I think the idea was it kind of like sat on the vehicle and that was charging it or what have you. I don't know. I remember having the rubber hoses for this, but kind of cool that I got the book, none of the components with it. I used to have the hydro spanner somewhere, but what do you do? What do you do? No chats.
No chats.
All right.
People still watching, so see anything you like or you remember playing with as a kid, feel free to drop a chat.
Okay. Ooh. Vehicle maintenance energizer. Yeah, not worth a ton, but I got the book for it, so that's kind of cool.
I'll tell you what, guys who are watching, there's a toy coming up in a few minutes that I'm really excited for.
I can't imagine what it is. Man, I mean, 'cause there is some good exciting stuff. All right. Let's see here. This, I'll find a little picture of. I'll take a picture of it. This I know to be something to do with Jabba's sail barge.
Mm-hmm. This is an exciting one.
This one's exciting.
It's exciting.
Okay. Well, I'm excited. This one's interesting because it's just one molded chunk.
Is it open underneath? Are you able to give a good shot of? Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh, I see the little wings did actually slide off of there. Desert skiff, mini rig. It's missing the side handrails and rear vertical sail fin. I don't know about that.
So, what I pulled up
Yeah.
is it is actually a Play-Doh mold.
Oh, really?
It's a beige plastic toy designed for molding modeling compound. And
For Star Wars?
for Star Wars. And there's a photo of it right there.
So what, you're supposed to do is jam Play-Doh in there?
Jam Play-Doh right in there. And fill it up. I might have to get some Play-Doh actually and
That's bizarre.
try that out.
Huh. Is this perhaps a Play-Doh mold? Do you have an example? Did you find anything that has like the?
It's from the 1983 Star Wars Return of the Jedi Jabba the Hutt Play-Doh playset. It resembles a standard plastic vehicle toy. The deck features distinct indentations and recesses designed to function as an open-faced press mold. The original set included a Jabba the Hutt main unit, character half molds like Han Solo and Carbonite, the plastic playmat, and cutting tools. I wish I could find a photo of
Oh, this one's kind of
molded.
bewildering. I wonder if anybody in the chat that's watching.
Yes, if anybody's on the chat loves Play-Doh, and here's the original set with the full. That certainly is that piece. And then there's the original set with the Play-Doh and the.
Oh, okay. So I bet what this actually was, I bet it wasn't so much a mold necessarily as you had the mold and then this was the
That's
thing to
potential
put
that
the dudes on.
The molds wrote on, yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I bet that's it. Okay, so let's have a little argument here with the AI, as it were. Okay, what did you say it's called?
It is called the.
What was it? What was the original playset called? I should say.
The 1983 Kenner Star Wars Play-Doh Tatooine Skiff. So it's a Play-Doh set. 1983 Kenner.
All right, let me stick it on the phone there. 1983 Kenner Star Wars Play-Doh Tatooine Skiff. That's very interesting. Huh. I never knew that. But that's also a smart toy because, and that actually makes sense, right? Because look at this. Those pegs are too big for the regular character's feet.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there it does fit. Okay, never mind. I'll take that back. But then it still is a smart move, though, because then you got a toy that you can use with either thing. Yeah, huh. in a weird way makes a lot more sense. Hopefully you found some stuff on this, because this is a toy that even as a kid I always said, going, what the hell is that thing? This was definitely not in the movie.
No, it is another mini rig. I was able
It
to
has
find
some
that.
cool features, like this little button on the back here that you hit. And the wings go down. And it had an opening cockpit where you could put the guy in, and that red shield. This thing looked pretty bad, actually, pretty nasty. So it was kind of cool, but also it was a thing where it's like, well, this isn't in the movie. What is this thing? And, you know, when you're a kid and you don't have the internet, because the internet doesn't exist yet, you're really left baffled as to what it is. Some of these questions are kind of fun to answer, and I know I've actually looked into this before, but luckily it's been long enough that I have forgotten the answer. This is very handy, actually, having a second person here to run stuff. Nice, yes. There you go. All right, so I am seeing Star Wars Empire Strikes Back to INT 4 Interceptor mini rig. Is that what you're seeing?
That's what I'm seeing.
What are you seeing for history on it? Same thing, just mini
So
rig
yeah,
stuff?
so the mini rig is part of the 1982 set. It's designed as a compact ship for the Galactic Empire and was intended to be carried inside the AT-AT Walker. Red tinted canopy, front laser canyon, and wings that fold before landing. Really cool piece.
All right, this next one I got to put together here. Oh, this son of a gun is finicky. Yes, I got it though. All right. All right, so missing its stabilizer button. No, it's not missing that. I don't think. Yeah, again, that was a fun little ship. I don't know. I never had any of the X-Wings or anything because they were kind of hard to find and kind of expensive. So, that was kind of a neat thing. Not a tremendous amount of value here, but maybe 50, 80 bucks. I don't know. Somewhere around there. That one is very finicky, Ben.
It's very finicky.
So, we'll actually come back to that one. I think we've looked at a couple weird things. Let's do something really cool. And then I think from here on out, everything's just going to actually kind of get a little bit cooler. I don't know, that's kind of how I have this thing planned here. But that is, hold on, you drop the middle. Okay, I don't, make sure you don't lose that piece. All right, here he is. I'll cut right to the chase. The mighty Jabba. And this is his throne that he sits on. And of course, in the movie, he hits a button and the doors in front of him slide open and there's a big pit. And oh man, we know how it goes. The Rancor's down there. On the throne here, you got some manacles that you can hook Princess Leia or whoever up to. And then there's actually these other little skulls. You turn them. Perfect. How good is that? Inside here is some of the accessories and toys that we'll look at here in a second. But it's kind of this cool, you know, there's the Rancor pit, all the skeletons and whatnot down there. Probably a few chicken bones and stuff. So it shuts there. You shut those. All right. And then the mighty Jabba sits on top of there. Now, it's still not complete. Just this I've seen for, you know, decent amounts of money. But, of course, next to him sits, he's got like a little shelf type thing. well, here's an extra one I have because it's not complete. There should be a little plastic bubble that sits over here, and a lot of times that got lost. In this case, it did not. I actually have that. So that adds to the funness of it. And of course, this is his little fishbowl hookah gimmick that he's taking puffs off of. Again, this little part often got lost, and here's the pipe. It can sit right up there in his mouth. Like that. Now, of course, the last piece that you almost always see missing is his annoying little buddy right there that loves to hang out. So there it is. There's a very complete Jabba on the throne. That actually might be. I might have to make that my profile picture for something because I forget how complete that actually is. I do have extra parts for it because I at one point had a couple of these. I think at least that was. Oh no, that's. I don't know what that was for. All right. Did you find some stuff on this one?
I did.
Yeah.
It released in 1983 by Kenner. Kenner must have made a lot of these toys. It sounds like they must have had.
Yeah, all the Star Wars toys were Kenner.
Kenner, yeah. And it looks like a very complete version. There are some additional versions that have added on some pieces, but for the base set, very complete, nice piece of work.
So let's see here. Yeah. Jabba the Hutt on his throne, like I said, 83. Yep, complete. Salacious Crumb, of course, bouncing around. That guy got lost a lot or chewed up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This one's a lot of fun. That it's all complete. That makes me smile a little bit. That's a good looking deal. I had a couple Jabbas at some point. I don't know if maybe it got sold or parted out, or hence why I have these extra ones here. All right. Oh no, there goes Salacious Crumb. Oh, there it all goes. Maybe we'll throw it all back in there really quick. Like I remember a lot of friends actually having this, but not necessarily having Salacious Crumb. Some knuckleheaded dog or something might eat it. Kid loses that. Now this one is notoriously finicky. Really kind of cool.
Thank you guys for watching. If you recognize any toys, feel free to throw a quick message in the chat. Anything that reminds you of your childhood.
All right. I was trying to see if I could just get this thing back together enough here, but a really cool toy. I don't know if it'll stand up on its own. It wasn't liking to do it before. There we go. An Imperial speeder bike. Now, I'm going to take pictures and do anything before I move it around again, because this thing kind of has a little self-destruct button on it. That's not working 100%, but the idea behind it was, of course, we know from that scene of the movie, it's the race throughout Endor, the moon of Endor, between Luke and Leia and then the stormtroopers and the speeder bikes. You've never seen anything like it. And they're really fast and cool, but very finicky, and they just, you look at them wrong and they seem to explode. So that was kind of the idea with this toy. And yeah, very complete. Unfortunately, it doesn't work 100%, but back here, so you can fly it around, there's the little cargo pack. You hit that, and you can see this here came loose. And it should be spring-loaded, and it shoots this off. And it's kind of like, all right, cool. just blows up. This mechanism here is supposed to spring it up, and at some point, maybe it used to. That's it. So it should be affixed there, and then that makes like a spring-loaded thing that blows it up. But still, a pretty cool piece. I played a lot with this. You can sit a guy on there, recreate that movie scene. The common thread, of course, has been the bad guys always have the cooler vehicles. We know this with toys, and this was pretty cool. And then I guess, you started seeing more speeders and whatnot in Phantom Menace. Starting the new ones, you saw more of that and all the shows now and whatnot. But the first time you saw this in Empire Strikes Back, that was pretty cool. Or pardon me, Return of the Jedi. There we go. All right. Whew. We're moving right along. We're moving right along. We're going to put some of this back in the box. And this next one is probably my, I don't know, for how intact and good that Jabba the Hutt was, but I think my favorite overall vehicle for my collection is coming up next year. Yeah, I like this one. And that is old Bob Offet's ship, Slave One. The really cool looking starship that was the coolest character's ship. This one I remember playing with a lot. It was a perennial favorite. Very intact. In fact, I want to be super careful here. There we go. One of the tabs on that is busted. Oh well, we can live with it. The character would sit in here. Can we see that? Can we see the little U-shaped kind of, looks like a nose plug from when you used to take swimming lessons, when you were a kid. Yeah, so the guy would sit in there. I'm not going to actually put him all the way in there because I don't want to break those tabs, but that would hold him in place because, as we know, with Boba Fett's ship, it flies, not in this orientation, but this orientation. Aha. So to get him, to get your dude in and out and move him around, you had the option here. This seat kind of articulated in some way, shape, or form. So it would sit according to how he's supposed to fly. This mechanism just might be kind of old and weathered in here, and I don't want to monkey with it a ton. But then the wings rotate with it. The cargo hold opens up here. Let's see if I can see what's going on in here. Yeah, I'm not going to monkey with it too much because I don't want to bust it. But the stickers on this thing are in good shape. The glass is still intact, so that's complete. A little side panel for the cargo area, which is kind of cool here. You can see in there a little bit. That is still intact, and that is always kind of a notoriously finicky piece, but it snaps up in there. And then you still have room in the cargo hold here. These guys do this. Boba Fett we saw for less than a minute in film, kind of told us some, a few quick scenes. But he was on Hoth for he was on Bespin for one reason, and that was to collect Han Solo, to have him to bring to Jabba the Hutt and collect the bounty, because that's, how Boba Fett made his money. You can't lack him, or you can't blame him. For no lack of ambition, he's got some money to make. It's kind of a bad rap. So he's there to get Han Solo. That's the whole story. Han Solo, of course, gets frozen carbonite. This is a little slot to put Han Solo and Carbonite in. There we go. We'll punch right to the punch on. There it is. Boom. So he slides and sits in there. This particular piece gets lost a lot, as I understand it, and it's pretty cool that was intact. Yeah, this one's pretty valuable, relatively speaking. Stickers are in pretty good shape. A little discoloration, but nothing to fret about too much. All right. Put that bad boy back. What are those damn vehicles called? Micro collection?
Mini rigs.
Mini rigs.
Mini rigs.
All right, so this one, this is kind of cool. This is kind of my favorite in the whole collection. Maybe not my favorite one that I played with all the time, but like this is, when I talk about my Star Wars collection, I've always referenced that this was in existence. Now, I'm fully going to admit the box is not in great shape. It's not unopened. It's not pristine. But even at that, very few of this exist in any condition. And this was, in the 80s, what toys were all about. And I don't know, I don't want to be one of the, our generation had it this way and it was better type guys. But the way that toys were marketed to us in the 70s and 80s and the craziness that went into it was the precedent for what came in the future for other toys, right? It's like money was spent into this, put into this advertising, into this artwork, and the creation of this stuff, to set up these dioramas with a cool background and whatnot. So that's pretty neat. Then, on the back, you got the drawing, or the sketch of what it looks like, and then assembly required, what all is in there. Of course, the important caveat, action figures sold separately. That was something that I talked about after the last broadcast with my brother, is that a lot of something that made G.I. Joe really cool was that the vehicles usually came with a dude, whereas a lot of toys, it was always sold separately. Here we go. Boom. Adjust the camera there. There we are.
When you're talking about the advertising, money spent, the original sale price of this item, $32.97, which equates to about $110 in today's.
That's crazy.
Value. So for a kid's toy, right, and it explains kind of that mini rig thought of have something pocket money can deal with rather than having to go to the bank and pull out a deposit or withdrawal.
Hole in there for some reason, but it was important too that toys showed you how to play with them. Like, oh, look at all the stuff I can do. Han and Chewie can drive there. Luke can be practicing with the ball. Oh, the gun works and everything. Pretty cool to have the box.
Yes.
Oh man, and that's a fun part. Pretty cool to have the box. But even cooler to have the actual toy that was in the box, that is in the box. Well, came in the box. Now, of course, it's on top of the high-tech viewing system here. And this bad boy, I believe to be pretty complete. I do know some parts are missing, obviously. But, oh, that part's missing. Shit. Sucks. Not in here, is it? Oh, no. Well.
What part are we looking for?
It's a clear plastic part that sits on top of here. Man, oh well. All right, so the Falcon. Let's take a look at this thing. Here's the cockpit. I do have the wind catcher that goes on here. All right. We go around. I do actually have the satellite dish that attacks here. This might actually be what the cutout on that box is for, in all honesty, is to accommodate for that. On top of here, the part that I was bummed about, can we see it? Right here, the gun's going to sit up in here, but I'm missing a plastic piece that kind of covers this turd hole. That kind of sucks. Must have just fallen out at some point. I do have the gun here. Let's see. All right, yeah. Uh-oh. And then the character can sit in here and spin around and shoot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's supposed to do that, folks. That's how you can get the guy in and out easier, actually, was to put him in the chair and then slide the whole apparatus in. The landing gear here, oh, let's see. It's intact. Uh-oh. Well, one part here. That comes out, I know that. These here on the bottom. This damn thing. Let's see here. I don't want to monkey with this plastic too much because it is old and brittle. But I would love to get that foot down. It'd be a lot easier if I put this one back to where it should go. See, the bottom's in good shape though. Some discoloration and just some oldness on there. All right, let's see here. Okay. Oh. All right. I just kind of had to pull. Uh-oh. That's what I didn't want to do, folks.
It says there's a pinch, a squeeze and slide to actually take it up. Pinch it together and then
there we go. There we go. Now, the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy is a little bit more ready to go. All right. So it's kind of neat because I do actually have the, unfortunately, tab is busted on it, but I do have the little ramp that goes down, complete with, how do these fit? Yeah. Where's the front of this? And these are kind of go up in there. Yeah. So, yeah, complete with the struts, which a lot of times those struts broke. All right. So that's in there. Of course, that came back off. Oh, no. I'll fix that again in a second. Just stay on there. There we go. Here we go. Now let's just try this. Ben, just kind of hold the camera, you know, make sure you don't hit any of the buttons or hit that mic boom right there. All right, so inside here is the little smuggler bay, so you can lay a guy down in there and then cover him up. Nobody ever know any the better. Uh-oh, starting to lose some air in this strut. Uh-oh, uh-oh. There we go. Stay up, stay up, stay up. Stay up. Okay, thank you. There should be a little boom here that connects, like a little arm, and then it has a ball, and it's like the thing that Luke's practicing his lightsaber technique on for the first time. And then, of course, we have to button this whole beast back up, so there's the top part for it. Let's see if I can get this to stand back on here. Slides in there. Overall, I mean, so like you had pointed out, Ben, like this is you know, $150 in today's money and whatnot. The reality with it is, go all the way around to the front there too. These toys were kind of pushed to be out so fast. This is not like a super well built thing, and you can kind of see how some things kind of fit together. It still did for the most part, but just kind of a hard, brittle plastic that over time only is going to get more brittle and whatnot. Oh, I'm so bummed about having that turret missing. Like that thing is pretty dope. Let's see. Then I gotta get a picture of this. So for it to still be in this good a shape, I'm happy with that. I have no idea what the estimated value is on it. Boxes, do add value to stuff because there are just box collectors. But I have again no idea kind of the completeness of condition overall. And I don't know that's 100%. Okay, couple $100 at least. I have no idea if this component is in working condition, but let's see here. Somewhere back here, I just saw it. Right here, here's a button. And oh yes, here it is. So this opens up and you can put batteries in there. And then it made all types of battle noises and whatnot.
Oh, wow.
But there it is, the 77 Millennium Falcon. Always been a bit of a point of pride in the collection, especially having the box. More so than anything. And then it would all fold up. Well, actually, it could fold up, or you could actually hang on to it to fly it around like that. That was actually why this one is a little bit heftier and whatnot. So, all right, perfect. Box this up. Set that camera back up in a second here. I'm gonna move right on it. So that's it for the vintage Star Wars stuff. Well, okay. Original Star Wars stuff. We're gonna look at, I guess, technically a little bit more vintage stuff. Some toys that Ben actually will remember these potentially, because you would have been just of the right age for some of this to start to have been a thing. Because you're old enough to remember episode 1 in the theater, right, or not?
Yes.
So these are episode 1 toys that my idea was to collect these because someday they'll be worth something, right? Not really realizing everybody had the same idea by that point. But it's still cool that now, 20, almost 30 years later, I still have them all. So let's take 1 second here. That's it. So now we're going to do some Phantom Menace episode 1 figures and maybe some other random stuff, period. Who knows? All right. Let's see here. Bunch. We got the Googler ready to go again?
We got the Googler ready to go. We got a couple people watching live.
Drop we got live watchers. Oh my God.
Comment in the chat.
Oh my God.
Let us know where you're from, where you're tuning in from.
All right. Well, as we just go through this event, we're just going to look at a few other somewhat cool, just random items that are at the top of this stuff, because why not? Just to give you an idea of age, look at that. There is Randy Moss on the cover of the Vikings magazine. They did not end up doing, so it's Road to Miami. I don't want to spoiler alert anybody, but we did not actually make that happen. We came up a little short that year.
unfortunately.
The upside with that year is, though, we had a kicker who never actually missed a kick until right after
the
that
end of the
season.
season.
So this has nothing to do with anything, but look at that. There's a McDonald's official Olympic watch. Montreal Olympics? I don't know. Yeah, it must be. 2-year warranty. Wow. Oh, my mom.
From 1998.
1998. My mom was trying to sell it for $5 at a garage. So, any value on that thing, Bunch?
Well, we're pulling it up right now to see. You never know what that McDonald's.
Here's kind of an interesting one.
There's a little bit of value in that.
Souvenir magazine.
Wow.
Yeah. This one. So there we go. Let's start the bidding at one magazine.
Guys, if you're now locked in right now, you got to lock in watching live. We got some cool stuff coming up.
Let's see here. Photos. Come on out. Okay, here. Let's see here. Ad. Boom. Did that Vikings magazine come up as anything?
Yeah, it did.
Any value?
$15-20.
How about the watch? What did it say about the watch?
Yeah, you got some like $30-45 on that watch.
Oh, that one might go to who to sell.
Yeah.
All right. So I kind of got to decide how I want to do this here.
Guys, what's coming up next? Really cool Star Wars items.
So this is okay. I don't know why I have these. Holy shnikes. Wow. Okay, that's actually a hell of a pull. All right. So I doubt these are worth anything, but I saved the box for, I guess, what were trivia trading cards. That they must have been in promotion with something. Expressions from Hallmark. No idea what that's about. It must have been some, and I have no idea where the cards would be. Yeah, look at that. I don't know. Some random yunk. I might change the camera angle, so buckle up, because these ones are all going to look a little bit better, laying a little bit flatter. So just bear with me for a second here. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is going to work a little bit nicer for everything here. I believe. That's going to be a much better angle. So yeah, here's the trading card gimmicks. No idea what that's about, but kind of cool. All right.
Well, and it looks like you might have like actually a complete set. Throw a Star Wars party, the free, the 550, the red card. No idea what they are. Hallmark trading cards.
Trivia trading cards. I don't know. Is there? Yeah, this is all rules. I don't know. We'll see if something turns up. If somebody is watching that knows, that would be dope.
Drop it in the chat.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. So one thing with these Phantom Menace characters, there were a lot of them produced. A lot of people didn't open them up because even at this point, vintage Star Wars toys were already showing their value. So whatever. There was some interesting gimmicks that they did with toys to get them sold. Boy, did I overpay for these. One is with Episode 1 toys, they put this little chip in there. It's called the ComTech chip. And you could get this little communicator that you would swipe. Actually, you'd set the guy on there, or you could swipe it on the communicator, and then it would be the guy's voice, the character's voice from the movie. So here's the first one here. Here's Boss Nass. So here's this little chip. And it was actually also a base. I don't know if we can get a good shot of it here. No, because it was the other way. There's little pegs on it that you could stand the guy on. with his feet. Oh yeah, there's the pegs right there. And then you could set them on that communicator and it would talk. I never actually had the communicator, but you'd walk through the store, and when you're looking at them, the aisles had where the toys were, they had the communicators right there, so you could hold it up and it would say whatever movie quote. And I can't remember if it had like multiple sayings it would say. That's actually a good question. Or if it was just the same thing over, but this one would come up and it'd be Boss Noss. It'd be all like, "The heck are you doing here, bro?" Yelling at Jar Jar Binks.
That specific action figure had the 4 different sayings. The most famous was peace.
Okay.
The Nabu think they are smarty. They think their brain's so big.
Okay. Hold off on that. Oh yeah, here we go. One of the bad dudes right here. My gosh darn Trade Federation. Man. Old Rune Hako. I wonder what his sayings were. You should look that up, Ben.
Good question. He had 3 sayings. Have you ever encountered a Jedi Knight before, sir? They have them on the run, sir. And they're no match for destroyer droids.
There it is right there. Oh! Actually, on the back of the box right here, it says what the saying is. Oh.
Well, and what's interesting, not only could you use the contact reader, but these guys could interact with each other. So they knew who they were around and could interact based on who you wanted them to talk to. Really cool technology for back at that time.
Yeah, heck yeah. I wonder if we can start to get these in here. Maybe. All right, here was generally good dude. Episode 1, of course. We didn't know that. Nobody knew that Palpatine could possibly be it. Of course, all these were bought at Kmart, which of course is no longer in existence anywhere, much less the one that I bought it at. But I do remember most certainly going around or going out to Kmart to buy these. I could probably walk you to the place in the liquor store that approximately was the
Where they
aisle.
were located.
With a great deal of accuracy. These came out, it coincided with the first summer that I had an actual paying job. So I was buying these every paycheck, a few. Not spending the whole paycheck on it, but just every paycheck, getting a couple, adding to the collection. And then you might remember them, Ben, they'd hang on my basement wall.
I remember them clearly on the basement wall when you went down the stairs on your right-hand side there.
This dude here has got the rope, or his accessory is the cam droid. So I'm not sure if it hooked into his back or something, and it kind of walked around. Yeah, pretty neat. Let's see here. Oh.
I'm looking at the values, like you said, a lot of people held on and kept in the box, but they have, doubled / tripled in what was paid for them, so still a good
Let's see here. Here's
return on investment.
Yeah, depending upon what I get out of them. I mean, it's better than just sitting here doing nothing, All right, let's see what they say about old Amidala. Ooh, starting to get warm in here. Let's see here. Mint on card. Okay, yeah. Empire around. Yep. Queen Amidala. Then we got a battle droid.
Ooh.
Yeah. Like the most obnoxious of all bad guys of all time. A battle droid with blaster. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm confident that there was actually like multiple battle droids that we're gonna see here. There's also some of these that I think I gave away to some friends over time for their kids. Maybe gave a handful here or there, or just like, you know, they might get a kick out of this or whatever. So, you know, I don't know how complete this collection is anymore, but, and I don't know, I don't know enough about it, because again, back buying them back then, you kind of just got it based on what was there, and then any information you had kind of by magazines and whatnot. Let's see here, I'm trying to just work some of the cool ones in here and there. Oh wow, these go deep. Deep. Yeah, alright. There we go. Let's yeah, you can just kind of start pulling from the top. I want to stay away from your decent packs like this thing. We're gonna hold off on showing those just for a second. But you can just start showing me. If it's one I don't necessarily want to show, I'll set it aside for a second. But all right, there we go. A couple more pit droids here. From, of course, the Bunta Eve Raceway. Very random toy. Oh, yeah. Yep, these ones that yell at Sebulba and stuff. I always was a big fan of the whole pod race scene. All right, let's see here. Next item. All right. Perfect. And you can see, just kind of get them in there. Now, one thing, this is a perfect one. One thing that was cool about this whole movie is the fact that, like, there was all of a sudden more than one Jedi Knight. Oh my, I mean, never had that existed before in a Star Wars movie. Right? Where you're like, oh man, there's two Jedis. I guess an argument could be made in Return of the Jedi that Yoda was still alive for that time frame and Luke wasn't. No, because he said he still had to confront Vader. So, yeah, this is the first time you ever saw in a movie multiple Jedi, and this dude had like a giant forehead. And you're like, what in the world's his deal? Old Ki-Adi-Mundi. Very fun character in the Clone Wars and whatnot. This box is a little beat up, but let's see here. Oh yeah, he'll interact with Mace Windu and Anakin Skywalker, so that's kind of cool. Let's see here. Perfect. When we see if we can kind of do this, whatever pattern, and if I need to get a different box, I can. That might not be the ideal box. Here's old Padme right here. Of course, when we're watching the movie, we don't have any idea that Padme and Amidala are the same until, you know, that plot twist happens. She interacts with Qui-Gon and Anakin. See here. Yeah, they hung on my mom's basement wall for so long. So they stayed in really good shape. They really didn't have like light exposure. Here we go. Here's somebody that everybody's going to hate. The most despised character. Old Jar Jar himself. Poor guy. That's all I can say about him. There's Jar Jar. Now here we go. Here's a fun guy. Old Watto. if he hadn't made a foolish bet, if he hadn't risked it all with the chance cube, things might have been different for him, as it were. He lost out big time. Did I take his? Yeah, I did take his picture, didn't I? I did not. Okay. Oh man. Hold on. Gotta make sure. Okay, yep, perfect. I'm getting a bit hasty here. Yeah, good old Watto. Oh. Let's see here. Oh, yep, and Jar Jar's Galaxy, of course. Captain Turtles. His name? Turtles, yeah. Dude, I was pretty pissed off at Jar Jar Binks about something. But we better have a toy of him. See who he interacts with, if anybody. Oh no, he just has his lines. Man, he could really drive somebody nuts if you actually did have the communicator today. Oh yeah, this one's actually kind of fun. Boom! Look at that. Is the TC-14 protocol droid, the one that the murder bot. All right, the job to distract the Jedi. Oh, and the chip interacts with Jedi. That's interesting. I wonder what the constraints on that are. Like, is it all the Jedi characters, or? Kind of a cool one. Let's see here. I think I already, did I have two of these?
There are a couple of double ups I've already seen in the box. So I'm not sure if we've hit on that one, but there may be multiples.
Maybe. May have duplicates of that. That's always a chance. I mean, there's a good chance that I would have bought stuff, you know. Bought stuff and maybe got it on sale, or somebody got me something that I was into and it was a duplicate. And let's see here. There we go. How many more of these are there?
There's quite a few.
Oh yeah. Okay, good. We're gonna do a droid, and I'm gonna do a really cool one here in a second. An interesting one. Oh, actually, I have a pull all over here. Another battle droid. Again, like I said, there was like multiple different variations of battle droid, which makes sense because you're gonna get some sucker like me to buy them all. Let's see here. All right, perfect. There he is. That's a pretty good one. Darth Maul himself. I mean, of course, the coolest character, and who until recently, when Disney remade the show, which I haven't seen yet, was one of the biggest, like, in my opinion, and I don't get too crazy with this, but it was a major letdown that one of the coolest villains in a movie ever got killed off right away in the first movie. Like, the first time I saw a preview and you just, like the teaser, and it was just this red, you didn't know if he's good or bad, but you knew he was bad. You knew it was a Sith dude. And so the anticipation builded, yes, here's the next thing. And then the rug pull out from him. He said, no, he gets killed right away. It's like, well, okay, well. And maybe that would have been cool for playing by Game of Thrones rule and other people started dying, but like, nah, a lot of shitty characters hung around for way too long. But this guy, nah, we're going to kill him off now. 25, 30 years later, bigger than ever. And they just did a show. So maybe it was the right move, I guess. But seems foolish. Darth Maul. We had a chance to calm down now, so. All right, who do we got here? Oh, yeah. Darth Sidious. Who is it? Who could that be? Oh, man. Is he really that bad? Yes. Yes, he is, folks. Holy cow, a lot of these.
A lot of battle droids. Here's a cool one.
Ah, old Ben Kenobi. Very young Ewan McGregor. Look at that. Like, why does he have that? Are those all the same?
This is a different one actually.
Well, even if it's the same one, I still want a photo for inventory.
Oh yes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We get a picture of old Ben. No. Because more than likely, all of this is going to get sold as a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of what? A lot of toys. Again, if you're watching live, thank you so much. How long have we been going now, Ben?
Oh, it's been a little bit. Looks like we are
Just at about an hour?
I think we're a little bit probably over an hour.
All right.
Last I checked, it was 52 minutes. Now we're probably.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Wow.
That's a good one. We'll take a quick little pause here while I get the home stretch done. There's one of the trivia cards. So I don't know if you had to buy stuff to get them or what. But yeah. Alright, okay, so we're getting a little more complete here. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go through these. Let's hammer out these idiot battle droids. What's that? That is.
That's the new one. This is one we got right here. And we just can't.
Okay, perfect. Yes. There we go. Trivia card. Let's see what this is. What name did Obi-Wan Kenobi go by while living as a hermit on Tatooine? Oh, there we go. Question B. Obi-Wan and Luke Skywalker leave planet Tatooine from a spaceport known as... that's some good trivia. What cantina Denzin loses his... What cantina Denzin loses his arm to Obi-Wan Kenobi in the original Star Wars film? Oh my... And then there's our answers. Of course, we have them right there. Ben Kenobi, Mos Eisley, and of course... Walrus Man, a.k.a. Ponda Baba. So that must have been what the... I don't know how many came in here. I don't know. And you said all these look different on the front? I'm so confused. No, these are all...
This, and there was one more I saw came as a set.
Okay.
It might have been two different sets.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know where the rest of those cards were, but I mean, like so many collectible cards, probably not worth the bundle. But at least we can wrap that mystery up. All right, battle droids. I said we're next. Boom, another battle droid of some sort. I can't remember how many were in this specific movie, but it was more than enough. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Another battle droid. I think we looked at one like this. I'm not sure.
With the rifle.
All right, perfect. All right. Of course, a lot of the movie we see old Darth Sidious as a holograph. There he is, a holographic Darth Sidious. This thing's a little bit beat up. Might have to get a better case for this. Can you go let that idiot dog in real quick? Let's see here. Yeah, not much to say about it aside from it's just a clear cast version of the exact same toy. Exact same thing, but oh hey, let's just use the clear plastic. That idiot Johnson will buy it for sure. Yeah, he did all right. No confidence in this guy right from the word go. Old Chancellor Bjorn himself. Oh man. Let's see here. Who does he interact with? Nobody. Oh, let's see. Oh, he interacts with the queen herself. So that's good. Whew. All right. This is kind of sweet. One of the little Naboo pilots. Had a removable helmet. I believe he ends up getting blasted in the film, in the battle over Naboo. I can't recall for sure, but a fun action figure him nonetheless. There's no more of them in there, is there?
There are no more of them in there.
So yeah, I know I'm missing some. Must have given some away or something at some point, because I know I had a few more than this, just because I know there's key characters kind of missing, but you know, I don't know. In all honesty, I don't know if I finished this collection either. I think at some point I kind of set in like, okay, what's really going on here? But they were nice decorations for many years, and when you're young, you do things like that. There we go. Oh my God. Anakin with backpack and grease gun. How you doing there, Ben?
Doing good. Good.
Here was kind of the this next one. Here was always one of my favorite, of course, because it was old C-3PO sans his medal. There we go. Yes, so Kenner made all the original G.I. Joe, or all the original Star Wars toys.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, Hasbro buys them,
Yeah.
you know, and that's where we get, so yes, all the original stuff to a certain date. Okay, let's see here. Now, these next few things related to Phantom Menace are kind of interesting, because I remember buying them being like, okay, these are on sale, and these are kind of the weird things that sometimes over time end up becoming worth money, because even back then, I think we are going to dig into these next items
nice.
down here too, yeah. Yeah.
So, I'll just
Yeah, we put those. But I remember buying these thinking like, okay, a lot of times odds and ends and doodads go missing. So these were like accessory kits that they made. And they're kind of cool, because here's like the extra lightsaber, backpack, little probe gimmicks, an extra cape, I guess. I don't know. I have no idea what it was all about, but I picked them up on clearance at maybe like a Walmart or something back in the day.
Kmart. Yeah, it's not
It's
a
not a
Kmart
Kmart,
sticker.
it's
So all the
not.
other ones came from Kmart. But you know what? I bet a certain program could tell me the sticker.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see at the back of the box while I look up stuff on it. Back of the box doesn't say anything. Like, sometimes it would show like maybe there's 5 of these sets or something. Yeah, okay. All right. So these I bought for a couple bucks, and they do have, you know, some market value, nothing crazy, but they were unique pieces, and I'm glad I hedged my bets a little bit. But what was cool is they had multiple of them. Are you figuring out anything, like how many there were?
I have not figured out how many there were, but I did figure out that they came from Target.
Target, okay. So, yeah, here's like a swimming accessory kit. They never wore flippers in the movie, so I think they're learning, you know, they're trying a little marketing strategy from earlier on, right? Like, yeah, it doesn't matter if it's really in there. Oh, man.
There were a total of 4 accessory kits.
Okay.
The Tatooine, the Boo, the Sith, and the underwater accessory kit.
All right, and here is Tatooine one. And then we have one more character after this to look at that is somewhat significant. It doesn't, I mean, it's just the way it was, but it's a fun little thing. Oh, on top of these already fun things. But this one had a little cape, a little pulled back droid, it says. Long rifle, an extra blaster, backpack, all kinds of junk. Oh, another thing too, the comlink thing. Let me see the pack. Let me see one there. Oh, actually, here. Yeah, let me see one. The communicator thing. Oh, I need a character. Ah, perfect. So the ComTech chip, the thing that we set it on, actually looked like the com thing in the Star Wars in Phantom Menace that they used to talk, which was actually, when you look at it, you're like, which is the first thing you should do. I remember seeing it in the theater even and being like, God, that looks like that woman's leg razor. And at that time, Gillette made you can look it up, they made a line of razors. I remember seeing commercials for them all the time, and parts of it were used to make what looked like the comic thing they were using. Wow. So it looks a little different than that, but that was kind of the story behind that. Now, here is a significant one in that it's Mace Windu. Very happy to have a Mace Windu in my collection. But there's one thing that is like glaringly wrong, which, you know, folks watching, if they're Star Wars nerds, will pick up on right away. But Ben, do you have any idea what it might be?
Is it the color of his lightsaber?
It is the color of his lightsaber. Mace Windu, of course, played by Samuel Jackson fans, had a purple lightsaber, which no Jedi ever had, but since it was Samuel Jackson, he said, no, that's what I'm going to do. George Lucas is all like, yeah, that seems like a good idea, but that all didn't happen. We didn't see his lightsaber until episode 2. So when this toy was made, that stuff had never been discussed, figured out.
Oh, wow.
He's a Jedi, so yeah, he should have a blue lightsaber. But yeah, so these ones do. Episode 2 toys would have changed.
Wow.
I don't think I had any of the episode 2 toys. So that is all the Phantom Menace stuff, and I think we're gonna go ahead and push right through. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah.
With a few more things. All right, so let's do those we'll hang on to for a second. Those might be for another day, but the box ones. Yeah, let's go one series at a time. And there should be the 2 different movies there. Oh, perfect. All right, so these are very, very fun toys. Might actually have some value. So through the 80s, we've looked at a lot of really cool He-Man toys. We just saw the Star Wars figures where we started, you know, that kind of stuff. But the toys evolved, right? Action figures changed. The artwork always got different. In some cases, not as good. In some cases, better. And in some cases, brand new interpretations. And that's what happened when Spawn toys came along, made by McFarlane Toys. Nice. Todd McFarlane, and then the Spawn figures and that artwork and that studio and everything led to like series of movie characters. So I had some original Spawn stuff I remember getting, and eventually, you know, I had opened it up. One of our cousins and I actually had it then. So I remember opening up the original Spawn and playing with them, but then when this new line came out, I'm like, all right, let's keep these hung up. So roughly the same time frame, probably about the time that I got out of collecting Star Wars toys. So that's enough. Realized there might be some value in these. I started getting the Shrek toys because they're pretty cool. All right, let's see here. Now these, if I'm being 100% honest, you know what, Ben? What store do you think I bought these at?
If I had to guess, I would say on cue.
You're 100% right, actually. I thought that was going to stump you, but yes.
Wow.
Actually, on cue is where I would have bought most of these. These weren't carried at like Kmart.
If you've got Shrek, you have to have.
You gotta have his trusty steed. He's, you gotta have your donkey, man. Like, look at the detail in these toys. This is what made him so cool. It makes him still like pretty desirable. So let's see here. I know I don't have the full collection. Because I know I don't have. I'm sure I don't have Fiona with Farquaad, but I'm not sure. Let's see, is there anything else, or is it just
That is those two Shrek collectibles.
All right, so I had 2 Shreks, and then a movie that really kind of defined the. It was a. I don't want to say defined that time because it didn't, but maybe it would define its own branch of comedy by the comedy genius himself. Mike Myers, the Austin Powers series, and then McFarlane got in on the toy action of this. I actually did get. Are these McFarlane toys? Yeah. Duh. These I did get at Kmart. But I do remember buying 100% buying the Shrek toys at On Q. On Q had some pretty cool toys actually. So people that might be watching that aren't from the Midwest, On Q was eventually bought by Sam Goody, but that was one of the stores we had in our mall. We got music, books, and movies too. On cue. All right, we had Fat Bastard. Here we got Dr. Evil. Let me see that Fat Bastard one again. Was that? Oh, it was the same series.
You know what's interesting about the Fat Bastard one is these two both actually call out who it is.
Yeah, they have
Fat
voice
Bastard
strips.
is just
Yeah, they couldn't fit one in there.
and it's Fat Man.
Fat Man, yeah.
Man.
Oh, yeah, but that's right. Talking toys were a big thing. Pull out tab before play. Okay, so there must be a tab that it's supposed to hit and it makes a sound. Yeah, talking toys, very important at a time when we didn't have our phones right there to play whatever sound we needed. This was pretty big. Then, of course, Austin Powers himself. All right. Oh, man. This will be the last item that we're doing here. But this of Austin Powers with his chest hair and again, really good detail, which is indicative of any of the McFarlane toys. Mm-hmm. I get this one logged. So these are kind of cool because they do have some market value. I'm not sure what it is, but to a collector, there's something there. All right, so let's see here. There we go. I got the last one logged. All right. Whoa. All right, I get the camera flipped around here, and then we'll bring this thing home. What's up?
This is actually a recalled toy.
Is it really?
It is a rare recalled Austin Powers toy.
Does that add to the value?
Austin Danger Powers. It does.
What? Why was it recalled?
That's what we're trying to figure out here.
Huh. Well, that's interesting. As he looked at that, I'll start to wrap this thing up. So, that was a bulk of the collection that I've got, except of bigger sets. But now I've got some more kind of random smaller things to go through. And if we just look around the room really quick, we can see like here's some fun 80s toys, Robin Hood stuff, all kinds of things. Here's what we've gone through so far. All right, so I still have at least one or two more of these to go through, but it won't necessarily be toy sets. Might just be kind of some random components, but still of cool vintage toys, some stuff I've looked into a little bit already. Did you find out about the recall?
I did, and it all has to do with the same reason Fat Bastard is called Fat Man. The saying of "Would you fancy a shag?" was deemed inappropriate for children's toys.
Nice. So there we go. It kind of feels like maybe that should be the case. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Ben, thank you for being here and helping out and chipping in where you could. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. So you can see when these links come up to these shows. And like I said, I got at least a few more. And I actually had a conversation with a potential buyer today. So that's kind of exciting. All right. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you all later.